Today is Sunday, January 7th, 2024. It's mid-morning. Weather today is supposed to be mostly cloudy, but possibly clearing up in a couple hours, and low 30s. I'm out here trail running the Hartland segment of the Ice Age Trail. The reason for that is I decided to make it a goal of mine within the next several years to trail run all of these segments of the Ice Age Trail. I think totals around 700 miles or so. The entire Ice Age Trail is obviously much longer, but as part of this goal, I decided I was only going to do the actual trail segments, not any of the connector routes necessarily. Although probably in the process I'm sure I'll end up doing some of the connector routes, but that's not what I'm really focused on. I'm going to be focusing on just the actual trail segments. Segment I'm doing today is well, it's almost 7 miles. So because one of the characteristics of the Ice Age Trail is that it doesn't really tend to loop on itself. With this segment and probably most of the other ones, I'm going to end up doing mostly out and backs. So it'll be almost 7 miles multiplied by 2 to get all the way back to my car. I think sometimes on some of my trail runs I do on the longer segments, might have somebody, my wife or something, come with me, and we'll either bring 2 cars and put 1 car on each side, or only take 1 car and she'll drop me off at my start and pick me up at the end of the segment. Take a little detour here. I think there's probably an overlook up here. Looks like there must be trail down there. Maybe we'll come back on our way back over here. Looks like there's a little lollipop loop down in there. Might be fun to do, but let's get to the end of the segment first, and we'll see how we feel when we get back. So one of the reasons the main reason really I chose to do this trail segment first to start out my Ice Age Trail quest is actually grew up in Hartland, so it's kind of where I first realized the trail even existed. In fact, the house I grew up in is just down the road, just in town. Haven't lived there since 1999, so was that 25 years ago, and it definitely did not look like this when I lived here. I remember riding my bike down this road, and this hill here was a lot steeper. One of my policies while trail running is I do not make it a habit of running on any wooden structures whatsoever, no matter what time of year. You just never know when they're going to be slippery, and it's just not worth it. And it's a nice excuse to take a little break anyway, right? That was a pretty nice boardwalk, though. Overlooking this little cattail marsh. To the right. Huh. As you can no doubt tell, this particular segment of the Ice Age Trail is pretty residential, relatively speaking to some of the other segments, but so far it's still been pretty nice. I do have to say, one of the downsides of that is seems as though in more residential areas the trail tends to be paved a little bit more, which isn't super great for trail running. But it is what it is. At least there's not a super great chance that I'm gonna end up stepping on a branch and spraining my ankle or something, right? All right. We are coming into what I would consider kind of the original village of Hartland area before it started having all kinds of subdivision development all around it. Railroad crossing there, and right in this area, Ice Age Trail goes through Nixon Park, which probably was only about a quarter mile from where I grew up, so I definitely spent a ton of time here as a kid. There we go. Why don't we run on the grass instead of on the icy road? Alright. Here we're walking around the old Hartland Mill Pond. I always tried fishing here as a kid with my brother, but I literally don't think we ever caught a single thing. A couple times watched somebody catch some real huge snapping turtles, but we never caught anything. All right, enough putzing around. Let's continue this trail run. Enjoy this small section of trail that's not paved. Look. Ducks. They're not really afraid. Total city ducks. I almost forgot one more thing. They have an ice rink here. I think when I was a kid, I swear they had it in the parking lot. Kind of back over there, but looks like it's not quite ready to skate on. It looks kind of like a giant pile of slush right now. It's been kind of warm. Well, not warm, but it's been a little bit mild this winter. I would think normally it would be frozen by now, but all right, let's get going. One of the benefits of running when it's cold out, it's pretty easy to stay motivated to keep going, because man, you stop or walk for too long, get kind of chilly. Tricky. Sometimes you gotta look for the signs. More ducks. A lot of ducks here on the Bark River. Hartland should be called Duckland. Yeah, that's not that funny, is it? Yep. Definitely not gonna run on this boardwalk. Whew. No way. No way. But walking on a boardwalk is better than trying to run through a bog, so I'm cool with that. All right, made it to the end of the Hartland segment of the Ice Age Trail. Let's see. According to my statistics here, 6.6 miles, 1 hour 48 minutes. Elevation gain 203, elevation loss 262. So yeah, it's not totally flat, but not a super hilly trail for sure. All right, let's take a little break and head back in a little bit. Going back into downtown. Once we get through this alley, this is pretty much the main drag through town. Capitol Drive. Back in Nixon Park here. On the way back here, I think what I'm going to do is take a little detour off of the official Ice Age Trail and take a run past my old house. So that's what we'll do. Won't even add any length to my run or anything, so why not, right? There it is. Place I grew up in. My dad built that shed. Cool. Grocery store across the street. Post office across the street. Pretty cool. Why don't we do this white route here? Pembroke Park here. Looks like it'll, I don't know, add less than a mile. That might be fun, huh? Let's go. Not sure if this is the right way, but it's a trail. It just looks not very well worn. Yeah, I made the Pembroke Park fine, but never saw signs specifically stating to go this way, but I think this is it. Not sure what else this would be. Oh, here we go. Well, I don't think that was the way. That's where I'm supposed to be. Although it was a lollipop trail, so maybe. This is definitely the trail though. Huh, that was weird. Not sure what happened there. Definitely a nice side trail for sure. This is kind of cool. Must be fairly new though. Ooh, steep. Well, that was exciting. Alright, I guess there's a overlook here straight ahead. I assume it goes up this ridge. Let's take a look here. Yeah, this is a cool little spot here. Nice little overlook of a couple ponds down there. There's the Ice Age trail down there. There we go, another side trail. I think this will take us to that very first overlook that we passed on the way in, that I said we'd maybe take a look at. I think this is going to take us there. Let's see. I think maybe turkey tracks? I'm not sure. I think so. Yeah, we were standing up by that pavilion. Nice. I don't think this trail is actually part of the official Ice Age trail, but it'll take us back there eventually. This is kind of interesting. Must be a little spillway overflow area for this little pond, huh? Trail goes right across there. Kind of cool. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like that. Yeah, it looks like this overlook trail though is on a white route, so that would be official Ice Age trail. At least that's what I would assume based on that white blaze. Pretty cool little island in the middle of this marsh. How neat. Wow, look at this. Look at this. Wow. Look at that. Look at that rub on that tree. That's a pretty good sized tree. I can't even get my hand all the way around it. That's pretty cool. All right. Almost back to the top where that pavilion is. Right up there. That was a nice little white route. But man, I brought an extra battery for my GoPro, and they're both dead now. Almost made it back, but not quite. I think I found my friend from earlier. Yep. Who knows? It's a doe, so it's about the same size. See you later. Made it to the end. Woohoo! Made it back to the car where I had one more full battery for the GoPro. Let's see. Yeah, the way back was a total of 8.8 miles. Took me 2 hours and 10 minutes. Elevation gain 348. Elevation loss 295 feet. So yeah, those extra, side trails added a little bit. Yeah, in total, if you add that to the way out there, the 6.6 miles, what would that be? 15.4 miles total, I think. Something like that. So yeah, that was a fun section, and yeah, hopefully the rest will be as well. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you later.